So my name is Nayyar. I'm from Washington, D.C. I run a YouTube channel, Velvet Cakes. It's a channel all about men's lifestyle, self-improvement, confidence, gaining social skills, just all about men's empowerment, man. Just want it to be like a safe space for men to just, talk about issues and just me giving them advice on various topics on, self-improvement, men's lifestyle. So thanks for having me on.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, check out your content, man. I really like it because it's actually really good and inspiring. Like, I would say you would be really good for targets being anywhere between 18 and like 26, 27. Like, your content is pretty there.
Yeah, man.
Real quick, man, for my subscribers, let them know, like, what inspired you to want to help others? Like, you had you went through some trials and everything era yourself. You had some help that you want to share on, or maybe you didn't have no help and you had to learn everything yourself and you're out here sharing the knowledge.
Yeah, man. It's a combination of a lot of those things. So, I was raised by just like a single mom.
Okay.
I didn't have like a father figure growing up. So it was really tough, like just those lessons in life. I think a lot of men, they need like that father figure kind of growing up to show them, the way. Because at the end of the day, like female and male dynamics is still different, like two different genders. But yeah, man. So, just high school, college, I struggled a lot, like with social skills, girls, self-improvement in general. I went around really with like no purpose in like my life. It was just like, go to school, go to class, come back. No really hobbies, anything like that. College, it was like study, but it was like, I didn't have like a girlfriend or anything. My social skills were horrible.
All through high school?
What's up?
All through high school? No girlfriend?
Yeah, man. No girls. It's funny. I actually, when I had like the courage to actually go up and ask a girl out, I got rejected like my junior year of high school. It was like prom or something like that.
Okay.
And then I tried again senior year and it was the same thing. It was like straight up rejections, man. And at that point in my life, I was like 18 years old. I was like, well, shit, like, like I might be single forever. Like,
Yeah,
who knows? But then, went on to college. It was like a new environment, right? Kind of in college, just starting over because you don't really know a lot of people. So it was kind of a good, like, nice, fresh restart.
Okay.
But my social skills at that point, they still weren't great by any means. It wasn't until really like later on, I joined like a fraternity in college, and that gave me more like exposure to like women, girls, because of like the parties, the socials, just joining like these extracurriculars, right? And then at that point is when my social skills started to get like a little bit better because we'd go to like socials with other women. And it was really, I remember the moment where like it all started to kind of like change was like one night. Like a lot of my fraternity brothers were like drinking. They're like pretty, intoxicated and like they weren't really like, they couldn't have like a really good conversation with a lot of the women because like they were just in their own world, like blacked out, gone. And at the time, I didn't really drink that much at the time and I was like a sober DD. But then, it was just like a bunch of girls just like standing there looking bored and awkward. So it was just like, okay, well, someone's got to talk to them, right?
Yeah.
So I think that was the very first time I like kind of broke out of my comfort zone and like started talking to girls. It wasn't smooth by any means, but it was something, right? You gotta start somewhere. Yeah. So I think at that moment in time, it was like, okay, well, this isn't too bad. Like, it might not have been the smoothest convo, but at least, I'm getting there. I'm making progress. And yeah, man, look, really after that, after that moment, my confidence kind of started to like go up and up. I was becoming a little bit more social. I got my first girlfriend towards like the end of college. It wasn't a serious like relationship. It was, like one of those college relationships.
Yeah, it's your first one, so
yeah. But at that point in time, man, it was like the social skills started getting like better. And I got like my first, I guess, well, like nowadays I don't even consider it a heartbreak, but back then, like heartbreak.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was like I had that moment, and then really after I graduated college, right? I had like a solid like group of friends.
Mm.
And we would like go out a lot, right? Around like my early 20s to even like mid 20s. I'm 29 now, but
Okay.
from like age 23, man, to like 25, 26, it was like going out a lot, getting more exposed, gaining more of those social skills. And at that point in time, just doing stuff like cold approach, talking to girls when I'm like
Yeah.
going out, the confidence just it started like I was getting there, I
Okay.
got there, I was like skyrocketed over the roof. But, it was like I spent so much time, I think, in my early and mid 20s enticed in like hookup culture because it's
Mm.
like when you learn how to like talk to women, get better social skills, and I guess you could call it game,
Yeah.
but like when you like get better with social skills, right? And you're able to like socialize. It's like you get that addiction where, it was like my early and mid 20s. We were going out like every single weekend, man. And
Mm.
I look at it as a blessing because I gained a lot of social skills from that era of my life. But at the same time, I did lack kind of like a purpose. I was like job hopping a lot
Okay.
between different jobs. I didn't really have too many goals or anything like
Mm.
that, man. It wasn't until like a few years later, around like, 27, 28, where I got like my stable kind of like 9 to 5. I learned more so about like money in those later years of your 20s. I started hitting the gym like a lot harder then, and I just saw like the difference it made. And really, I started focusing on more aspects of my life as a whole, other than just, the woman part,
Yeah.
other than just chasing, woman. And I don't blame myself because I had, like I said, I had that void or I guess lack of woman in like high school and early college.
Mm.
But yeah, man. So when I got to like, it wasn't until around like 28, I'd say, I got to like a really good place, like just socially, like mentally, like my SMV, not saying I'm like super rich, but like I was in like the 6 figure range. I bought
Mm.
my own place.
Okay.
My social skills were good. My confidence was there. And looking back at it, man, I was just like, well, I don't want other people to like get kind of sidetracked and
Mm.
feel like very lost and lack of purpose. So, I kind of was just like, okay, well, I'm in a good place now. So, about I was really thinking about doing the YouTube channel, man, for a good like about like a year and a half ago, but I just like kind of procrastinated on it. But
Mm.
then finally, like 4.5, 5 months ago, I was like, fuck it, I gotta like start it sometime.
Okay.
So just kind of pulled the trigger, and yeah, man, I just made this channel to help other people and making sure they don't struggle, helping them not struggle, and I
Yeah.
don't want anyone to go through, the crap that I went through, like in my early mid 20s and late teens. So that's a little bit about me and my story, man.
Okay. Um, Real quick, just rewind it back a little bit. When you were in high school, the girls that actually gave you like your first like turn downs, your shutdowns and stuff like that, were they just women that you always seen like here class to class, or were you actually like in the friend zone and you just shot your shot?
Dude, I wasn't even in the friend zone, man. Like I just legitimately, well, I don't say we were friends. Like I was in classes with these girls.
So you just
I
knew of
talked to them
them.
like here and
Okay.
yeah, I like talked to them here and there. I wasn't like friends with them, but at some point in time, it was just like, I don't know, man. I was just like, I had to pull the trigger at some point, It
Mm.
was like, am I really going to go like all these years of high school, like not going to a single like homecoming or prom? And it wasn't even about like getting a girlfriend at the time. It was just like, it's like, damn, like a bunch of my friends are like going to prom. Like, am I just going to really be that dude that like goes by himself?
Mm.
And it's funny because that's actually did kind of end up happening. But
Okay.
either way, man, I just, shot my shot. But at the same time, I look back at it and I remember like, just lack of a social group, lack of
Yeah.
like, and how in high school it's all
Mm.
about status and
Yeah.
like social
So it's
groups
for
and
sure. Yeah.
I guess popularity and stuff. So I'm not
Mm.
surprised, but at the same time, I wasn't like a very jacked dude. I wasn't like the best looking guy in
Mm.
high school.
Yeah.
I didn't pay attention to like what I wore. I think I was wearing like graphic t-shirts like
Yeah. That's
every
good.
other day and like
Hey, at least
ripped
you're taking
jeans and crap
accountability
like
for
that.
it, man. You're not delusional
Yeah,
like a
so
lot
it
of
makes
dudes.
sense to a
Yeah.
certain extent, you know what I mean? But at the same time, like, yeah, man, that's that's kind of the backstory on what happened. It wasn't until like my early 20s where I kind of discovered like the manosphere
Mm.
or like I guess just like men's lifestyle
Yeah.
content.
Okay.
I didn't really discover it until like end of college or like really those early years when I was working around like 23, 24. But
Okay.
yeah, man, I just wish, back then I had like that kind of advice.
Okay. Um, when you were in school, say from 18 to like 23, were your friends getting girls too, or were you guys all just similar? You guys were all just down the line identical, like you guys not socializing with women, not talking to people, like.
Yeah, I mean, so so in high school, most of my friends, like by towards the end of it, their social skills were decent because they were going to like prom and like homecoming and stuff like
Mm,
that. I was a train wreck. I was like super introverted. I couldn't talk to girls for the life of me. I was high school, but in
mm,
college, it was like college was a mix, because everybody, it's like so different compared to high school. It's like a fresh beginning. Nobody gives a shit about really like your popularity to a certain extent.
mm.
I had friend groups in college and like different clubs. I was on like the club lacrosse team also. I was in a fraternity.
Okay, that's good.
No, there's a very diverse mix of kids there. So a lot of them, they were like getting a lot of girls. Some of them were like more social. Some of them weren't as social. But towards the beginning stages of college, I kind of like picked up where I left off in high school, kind of lost. But really towards the end of college, like that experience that I described, that's when it was like, it's like, okay, like I do have the social skills. I'm getting more comfortable. But to answer your question, like it was kind of a mix, man. I'd say like a lot of them were getting girls. Some of them were just like me, kind of just working on it. It was like a little bit all over the place, but yeah.
Okay. I see the way you described everything. Like, I can see a lot of my subscribers. They could relate to the struggle of like finally discovering the woman, but then, like you said, you went through a phase of just going job to job, not really having like other goals besides already. Everyone thinks she's just ladies,
Right.
ladies, obviously. So, um, can you just break down a little bit what made you wake up a little bit and said like, hey, like I already a little social with the women, I'm getting a little play, but like my money and my gains, my status
Right.
was still off. Like, what made you wake up to that?
So that time period after college, right? 23, 22 to like 25, those first couple years, I would go on dates. Like I was very like comfortable. I was on, I think at that point, like 2016 to like 2018, the dating apps were like as hot as they've ever been, like
Mm,
Tinder,
mm,
Bumble,
okay,
Hinge. Well, Hinge wasn't out yet. I think I was just using like Tinder and Bumble for the most part.
okay,
But yeah, I was going like on all these dates, man, but it was like I couldn't like for some reason it was always that same like, oh, I don't feel a connection or
mm,
and it was kind of just a nicer way of saying like, hey, like, I'm just like genuinely like not interested. But
mm,
it was really, I think the lack of just like flirting back then, I
mm,
didn't have like the best game back then. I didn't flirt at all on these dates. They're these very like platonic like friendship conversations. I never made like any moves. And at the same time it was like I was broke as fuck back then. I was like taking girls
okay,
on like coffee dates
oh,
all the
okay,
time. Like there was dumb like repetitive dates where it
mm,
was like I was so dumb. Like there was no activity. Like looking back, it was like boring like one on one like
mm,
dates. And then it was like even like when I would tell girls, and this is a huge killer, man. Like girls would ask me like, do I live by myself? And like
mm,
back then I was living like at my mom's house and
okay.
I should have lied. Well, it's not good to lie, but I understand why that was
Yeah,
like
yeah,
such
we
a
all
huge
understand why
turnoff.
guys have
Where
to
it's
lie.
like,
Yeah, a lot of men gotta lie, man,
yeah,
because it's just like the way to fit the women's standards, man. Not everybody fits it, and you still want the ladies, so you gotta do what you gotta do.
yeah. So it's
Yeah.
really just a combination. It was like I was figuring out how it was like, okay, well, like something's off. Like I think as important as it is to gain those social skills, you need a little bit of like the finances and a little bit of like the status and not even like pop, not like status, but like just the like having your own place, just
Mm,
having more like goals and hobbies. So really it was like, okay, well, going on these dates, like they weren't going too well for me. I had to kind of analyze what the hell like I was doing wrong.
mm,
And really that's when I discovered the manosphere and like all of that content, like all of that YouTube stuff.
mm,
I watched I think the very first YouTube channel I watched on like men's lifestyle was like Alpha M or something like that.
okay.
And then it was like it kind of just like woke me up really. It was like, oh shit, like I dress horribly. And it's like, okay,
Okay.
gotta buy some like better outfits for sure. Gotta like buy some accessories, buy a watch. I'm taking these girls on some really boring ass dates. I got to step that up.
Okay.
Really, the thing I noticed though, it was such a turnoff when they were like, you know, there it was like when I said like my living situation and I was
Mm,
still living at my parents,
okay.
and even when I gave like the excuse of like, like I have a master's degree, so my kind of excuse for that was like, oh, I'm saving up money, like I'm doing my
Yeah,
master's,
yeah.
but it was like
Okay.
even at that point, they didn't really like want to hear it.
Mm,
It was still a turnoff. So it got hit me where it's like, okay, well, women want like kind of that hypergamy. They want men who have like, a stable like finances. They want men to
mm,
have like their own place. They don't want these broke, socially weird dudes living in their mom's basement.
mm,
And it
okay.
was like at that point in time, in my mid 20s, I would like kind of paused the dating for a little bit. I was like, okay, let me just like take it to the next level, work on like my fitness, my health, work on like my money, career, seeing like where I can develop. Let me kind of just money max for these next couple years and see where that gets me. And then around like age 27, 28, that was when I moved out of like my parents' house. I got
Mm-hmm.
my own place.
Okay.
And then really it was like I saw the difference. At that point in time, I hit the gym so hard from like age 25 to like 27. Those 2 years, I was going to the gym like 5 times a week. I was learning about fitness. I was learning about everything, man. I was learning about like dressing better.
Mm,
And at that point in time, it was like finally I was starting like I built the person that I kind of like wanted to be from just like watching those like kind of men's lifestyle videos.
mm,
And then now I look back at like the past 2 years from age like 27, 28, and I just see like the difference how girls treat you when you have like your life together.
yeah.
So really, that's kind of what happened. It was like it kind of woke me up to a certain extent where it's like, you can have like it's good to be social. It's good to have the confidence in the game, but
Mm,
at the same time, like if you don't have your life together, you shouldn't be out there dating. And
mm,
that's really a huge message in my channel. I'm
yeah.
not saying not to go on dates. I'm not saying not to casually date, but if you're looking for like a serious girl, man, it's like the blueprint is there. Like they
Yeah.
want that guy who's solidified on, money, career. They want that guy who has his life
Mm,
together. They want a guy that can take care of them to a certain extent,
yeah.
protect and provide. And these are all the things I didn't know until like I really through like trial and error, I kind of just figured it out.
Mm,
So
okay. So, real quick, would you say since you went on your own, like I said, with no path or nothing like that, no guidance, you kind of figured out your own ladies, and then later on, you actually got your stuff together by trial and error, by trying to date women, seeing that I
well, I,
still
I
staying at
did get
home.
the guidance from YouTube. I'll
Okay.
always credit that, but
Okay.
the trial and error was more so like myself,
Yeah.
just yeah.
Would you if you could go back to your younger self right now, would you still tell yourself to do it in the same order, or would you pretty much put yourself in an advanced spot to tell yourself like health, body, like status, money
Right.
first, and then get the ladies, or would you still go about your path on going to college, messing with the ladies first, then doing everything after get out of mom's house later?
Man, if I could go back, I'd do so many things different. Well, first off, I'd start YouTube like at least a couple of years earlier for
Yeah,
sure.
for
But
sure.
other than that, like yeah, I would tell myself like, hey, it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better in life. Stop putting so much pressure on yourself, like
Mm,
trying to get into a relationship when you don't have shit going on for you.
there
It's
you
just
go.
not gonna work.
Yeah, there you go.
That's like the main thing I would really tell myself. Be like, hey, man, it's okay. Like high school, it's bullshit, right?
Mm,
Nobody knows. Like everyone's all social circle in like high school and really college, right?
yeah.
But it's like girls don't really like understand. They don't really the whole like money status and like high value man stuff doesn't really come in until these girls graduate like college. They go out into like the work world. They see high value men, and
Mm,
then like the dynamic of what they want completely just changes.
okay.
They don't want these like college guys drinking
Mm,
all the time. They get exposed to like more high value men. It's like, oh shit, this guy is like a car. Like,
yeah.
oh, this guy lives like in a nice apartment. Or, oh, damn, this guy's like my supervisor. Like, he
Mm,
has a lot of money. Like,
mm,
and really, it's like they get exposed to guys like their late 20s, early 30s, kind of in like that male advantage.
mm,
So it was like I would tell like my younger self, like, grind throughout your 20s. Don't like, I wouldn't say, don't talk to girls at all. Like, go out, casually date, but don't try and get into like a serious, like, exclusive relationship. Get a little bit of experience, like, with the girls casually dating, work on your social skills, but at the same time, don't put that pressure on yourself to get into like an exclusive relationship. Dating, chasing girls, that shouldn't be like your priority yet, at least, in your 20s. Just focus on, all the stuff like, not, career and money for sure. Learn about the world, travel, learn about different places out there, man. Focus on health, fitness, focus on all those things and casually kind of date on the side, but don't try and get into like in a serious exclusive relationship really until you're in a place in your life where you're like, hey, like, I'm very financially secured. I'm very confident. I've been through hell, went through it all. Don't put so much stress on yourself in your early and mid 20s.
Okay. What would you say to my subscribers or how could you explain this to them? I got a lot of people out there that don't believe like in high value. They believe you can be that 40, 50K making guy, real nice guy, treating girls right and still have a happy life. Like, what is your message to them?
So that means you gotta stop shooting for average, man. You gotta stop shooting for average. And average can mean a lot of things, 40K, 50K, like, that's average, and like, even whatever you do in life, right? Whatever you do in life, just, you gotta like break through. You gotta like separate yourself. If you're in that 9 to 5 field, not anything against 9 to 5. I have a 9 to 5 too, but like, you gotta find, you just gotta break through from being average. Look at how you can level up like in your career within your 9 to 5 if that's your route. Look on, even if you have a 9 to 5, look at how you can get multiple income streams. If you need some side hustles, join some side hustles. If you want to start your own business, learn about that stuff in your 20s, man. You're not going to really get anywhere. And it's just one thing I want to say now more than ever, it's so easy to like separate yourself from being just an average guy. I think, it's funny, man. It's like so many people, like 90% of people, they're just like these robots. They wake up every day. They don't have like any purpose. They don't have any hobbies that they're working towards. Like, they wake up, go to work, come back, sleep, eat, repeat. It's like the same dumb like cycle. It's like, I talk to people sometimes and I'm like, oh, like, what do you got going on this weekend? The first thing that comes out of their mouth is, oh, I'm going out. Like, I'm going out to the bars. I'm going out to the club, or I'm going out to this party. It's like, okay, cool. But like, what the fuck do you like to do like for fun? Like, besides that, like, what hobbies do you have? And it's like, find some type of goal, like find some type of purpose you're working towards. Stop like chasing the woman. They will come to you, but you need to have, like, women want men that have like an interesting life. You know what I mean? And really, just like I said, to answer your question, it's so easy now than ever to separate yourself from average. Work on getting definitely multiple income streams for sure. Work on having some type of hobby, some type of goal, some type of purpose, like, in this life, to become 1% better each day. Like I said, there are so many people in this world that just rinse and repeat every single day. They're not doing anything to really make themselves 1% better. And, it's an interesting statistic too. Like, in the US, about 80% of the people don't even work out 3 times a week for at least 1 hour. So it's like, all you got to do, like, to start getting yourself far from average is like, just go to the gym, man. Like, go to the gym for 3 times a week. You're already going to be ahead of 80% of people out there. Stop trying to be average. Stop comparing yourself to the average. See like what it takes to be in like the top 10%, see the top 20%, shoot above, man. Don't, stop trying to be average. It pisses me off when guys are like, oh, well, the average salary is like fuck the average salary. You know what I mean? Like, why are you comparing yourself to these like average people, So that would be my message.
Okay. The whole typical, obviously, the internet labels everybody, man. You like omega, beta, alpha. Would you, with your appearance, your experience, do you see a difference between alpha and beta when it comes to being successful?
Honestly, man, like, I don't even look into those terms, to be honest. Like, alpha, beta, gamma, sigma, whatever it is. At the end of the day, success is success, But no, in reality, for like for manosphere content purposes, like, betas are like basically, just like the people that I described. They don't have like any purpose, any goals, constantly chasing women all the time. You can pretty much group like simps and betas into like one category. But when I think of like alpha, right, and like high value men, it's, you don't even have like, I don't even think of really like the millionaires out there. You can be like in that top 20%, that top 10%. You don't have to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
I know like with social media today, we think of like all like the big dogs, right? Like Andrew Tate, the Tate brothers, like Jay Waller, like all those like guys. Obviously they're like alpha, like high value, like top 1% like men. But really, like, if you just do those things that like I really mentioned, you could get into at least the top 20%. You don't have to be a millionaire to be a high value man. To me, a high value man is a guy that's chasing their goals, their purpose, has an actual routine, trying to, get better 1% each day, takes care of their health and fitness, can take care of themselves, if they get married, can successfully provide for like their family. You don't have to be in like that, super alpha, like 1% to be like a high value man.
I get you. That's like the same message that I like to point out here is that like, I know the typical mainstream like red pill shows and stuff like that that's what they're teaching you, the high roller cars, like flashy lifestyles and stuff like that. But like, I want to make sure that the rest of the men who like feel hopeless because they don't think that they're going to be a millionaire, because a lot of us are not ever going to be millionaires, that like that the term like high value doesn't mess with your SMV. Like, what I'm saying? Like, it's still, you can still be 70K, 80K, depending on where you live in, and still be a high value man. So I want to make sure that like, I like what I like to teach here is that like, a millionaire would be a plus cherry on top, but
that's
like,
ideal.
Yeah, it's
that's not ideal. But,
but like to keep it realistically and keep your hopes alive, keep your drive going, making you like stay like assertive and keeping your consistency going would be like just being above average, like is what you're saying.
Of course, yeah. And it's like I said, it's easier now than ever, man. But the problem is people don't do the work. Like they're just lazy. Like.
So right now, in the manosphere, give me three people that you say that you would recommend. Like you watched them, they shared some stuff with you, you gained some knowledge from them. Who would you say that you gained from, like that you would recommend? Like this is the right way to learn versus like, I mean, we got like a whole bunch of people out here teaching about rad stuff, but I'll ask you. Give me three who's doing it the right way you recommend, and then three that you're not really liking their content too much. It's more like entertainment than it is realistic.
Man, this is a hard question, man. There's so many guys I've watched. Well, in terms of like the right way, so you have like, I think I go back to like my early 20s to some of the guys that I watched. I think a guy like Jose from Teaching Men's Fashion, he like knocks it out of the park. I think like 95% of what he says, like I agree with. Okay. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a video where it's like that he's done where I've like been like, oh, he's like wrong. Like, I think Jose from Teaching Men's Fashion, he does a very good job. How to Beast is a really good one too. Okay, I like his content.
Yeah, I actually like before even my YouTube days and stuff like that. I was actually following him a lot for fitness stuff.
Yeah, How to Beast is really good for definitely like fitness and leveling up also. But the thing, it depends too, like in terms of dating, because that's obviously like one part of like, I guess, leveling up and like social skills. I say a guy, if you're like more of like a red pill like mindset and you're not trying to like settle down and like women aren't like your forefront, a guy that I really think just hits the nail is First Man. I really like First Man. I read his book, The Male Advantage. He basically, like, I don't think there's really too much that I disagree with. I think he's a very good guy to follow. He like really. And he's very positive. He's like a positive kind of like red pill like content creator, He's not always just like like bashing
Yeah,
on
like
like women all the
ranting,
time.
raging all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have like that red pill rage.
Okay.
He has like a very like positive outlook, and he's never like, even like compared to like black pill guys who are
Mm,
like some doomers out there that are like, oh, like you're an average looking, or like you're a sub 5 or
yeah.
whatever they say. Like
Yeah.
First Man's always like, the one thing that'll always stand out to me is at one of his videos, he's like, every man can really, they can become a 6 if they focus on, all these aspects of their life. Every man can at least become a 6 out of 10. So I really think the guys that promote like that positive message more so now, depending on dating, if you're somebody who's, you know, wants to get kind of settled down early and like, late 20s, early 30s. And it's funny, man, because some people, I tell them that, they're like, that's not early, that's kind of late. But for me, it's like, I think guys like, How to Beast Teaching Men's Fashion, they promote a very good, like, positive message. If you're a little more on like the red pill side, focusing on like more, not so much focusing on girls, but focusing more on just leveling up on all these other aspects of your life, like not trying to like, I guess not trying to get married, right?
Yeah.
Like not trying to like, or at least not get married like so soon. A guy like First Man, he's somebody who I like really, I kind of like look up to. I watch his videos a lot. So
Okay.
yeah, man, I think those are like my top like 3 that I definitely like recommend.
All right. So then shoot me the 3 like you wouldn't recommend at all. Like you think that it's just like nah, like wrong
Cap.
message. Yeah.
God, really just, I mean, that's tough because to be honest, I don't really like watch all the like negative people out there.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
I
that's what I'm
think
saying.
honestly,
Like who would you like not watch?
yeah.
Like you seen like their channels coming up, you're like, like
Um,
because your
I
algorithm
mean, I guess we
treats it
could
that
go
way.
like the
Yeah.
black pill route, like a
Okay.
lot of
Yeah.
the black pill guys, like Wheat Waffles. I
Okay.
mean, just guys like, I think his name's like Chatify, Zoomer Trader, like a lot of these black pill
The
guys,
Black
man.
Pill
It's just
Bro.
so much
Okay.
like negativity.
Okay.
Do you know like any like self improvement guys off the top of your head that you yourself are like? Because I
Um.
really can't think of too many off the top of my head, man. It's always like, because even like, okay, well, say Fresh and Fit, right?
Mm,
Like some of those podcasts,
mm,
they have like a good like kind of daytime show where they talk about like leveling up,
yeah.
but
All
it's
that
like the
improvement stuff.
second you have like the nighttime like, and they have all these girls, and
Mm,
it's like there's constant like, it's like I want to tell guys like that's not real. Like the type of girls that they bring
mm.
on the show, it's not representative of like the general population.
Of
You know what I
America.
mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, it's
I
like
always
you're
say
bringing
that
on.
like you're based out of like a high like profile area, which is that South Florida area is like real high profile. Like I'm only 30 minutes from like Los Angeles, where it's like Hollywood is like this number top 3 cities in the United States. There's 50,000 cities. Like there, and this is top 3 around here, and it's nowhere near that what I see that's on the show. Like the way the behaviors and stuff like that. It's not the same either. So
Yeah, man, it's like I'd say avoid watching too much of those podcasts where they're like bring on these women that are like not a good
mm,
representative, like all these like 304s, these
mm,
OnlyFans models, these Instagram models. It's
yeah,
like one, they're in front of camera, they're probably going to change their opinions a little bit, because they
mm,
know millions of people are watching.
yeah,
And two, it's like these girls probably get DMs all the time. They're not representative of like really high value women. I haven't seen
mm,
really any high value woman to like on these podcasts.
yeah,
So not saying not to watch Fresh and Fit. It's like take some of the stuff when they start bashing these women with like a little bit of a grain of salt, because it's
mm,
like not every woman is gonna be like like that weird like influencer type of girl.
okay,
But more so like the black pill stuff. It's like stop watching that shit, man. Like we like just put in the work on like your looks. Go to the gym. Like you know how to like
yeah, yeah,
level up. No
okay.
need for like the negativity.
That's right. All right, so let's see. Down to my last 2. Your give me what is your next step and goal by December this year for your channel, and then give me a same thing by same due date for yourself as a goal outside of YouTube?
Awesome. Yeah, so for my channel, yeah, when I like now more than ever, man, like I know YouTube's as competitive as it has ever been.
Mm.
And then it's like all of a sudden I think this past year, it's like out of nowhere, just like you have that influx of just like self improvement content creators just like popping out like
Yeah.
left and right.
Yeah.
It's like I log on to YouTube, it's like I see a different dude like every time. I'm like, holy shit, it's like more competition. But like not I don't but then I was like, you know what, like fuck the competition. I'm just gonna focus on my channel. Whatever happens, happens. Like can't just keep looking at other people's content and always comparing it to yourself. But personal goal for me, man, is, you know, I've been consistently uploading 2 videos like every single week. Definitely continue to do that. But you know, I'm gonna step it up starting like in the next couple of weeks because I got a new laptop, so I'm gonna start busting out 3 videos a week.
Yeah, that's good.
So one of my goals, right, is just consistently keep doing what I'm doing, busting out 2 videos a week. But in the next 2 weeks or so, man, once this laptop comes in, I'm gonna step it up to 3 videos a week.
Okay.
See how long that runs, man. And
yeah, trust me, man,
I've been
like
posting a YouTube.
the more like you're putting yourself out there, more people come across your content and you become
Right,
the growth shows more.
Yeah. Right, yeah. So definitely continue, be consistent, step it up to 1 more video to 3 videos a week. I've been posting YouTube shorts like 4 to 5 days out of the 7 days a week, man.
Okay,
so continue doing that too.
That's good.
And my really just for as like a number goal, you know, it's funny, man. When I started this channel in like December of last year, I was like, I don't know. I didn't really know how YouTube worked at the time. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna hit like 5K subscribers by next year. But then after this past like 4.5 months, I'm like, well, shit, that was like a pretty stupid goal. It's like probably not gonna happen, like realistically, because of just the competition and the influx and just like it's hard, man. It's hard. So now I'm like, I scaled it back a little bit. I'm like, look, I'm gonna see if I can get to like 300 subscribers. 300 by like the end of this year. That'll be a reasonable goal. And my long-term goal is within 2 years of starting, I want to get like monetized on this stuff, man. So definitely became more realistic on YouTube from when I like started 5 months ago. I didn't realize how hard it was to grow. And you don't really realize it until you become a content creator. You're like, shit, man, my video got like 7 views. Like, what the hell, you know? So it's like,
I always tell people, man, like if you have success like on like TikTok or Instagram, that like YouTube's a different animal. It's different.
It's a huge different animal, man. You don't really realize that. And I'm not gonna, you know, some people, I don't want to say they have it lucky, but some people's videos gain a lot of traction. Some people go viral a lot quicker. You know, some people takes them, you know, 4 years to hit 1 million subscribers. Other people, it takes them like 12 years. You know, it's like everyone's channel is different. The algorithm, I wish like there was a concrete answer to figure it out, but there just isn't.
honestly, the only stepping stone that I've learned, like I said, like I started in September, so you started in December. My first video was in September, man, and it's just like what I learned that just kind of keeps me like somewhat growing. Obviously, I'm not going viral or anything like that, but the growth is there a little bit slowly. It's just being consistent. The consistency, man. Like
you guys are doing good though. Like on Instagram, I think you have like 20K followers.
I'll tell you the key to that though is because that's why I have to do why I actually like added it to the show, being like doing the after hours things, because the ladies. Instagram is like the girls is what'll spread the word and really get you like a lot of stuff. So that's why why the Instagram is like that, because the YouTube is hard. Like, you know, that just trying to just drop your lifestyle story and make sure that people pick up on it because they relate to you. Those are the people that share and subscribe with you. Those are the ones. You have people that are checking on your videos here and there because they like a couple videos here and there, and they'll come back and check on you. But the people that subscribe, man, those are the people that, hey, man, like, man, I like what he was saying. That was me 2 years ago. That was me last week. Like, yeah, they'll mess with you.
Yeah, and I think for you guys too, man, it's like podcasts are like, I had a podcast like a year ago, and man, that shit's so hard to like edit, and like podcast YouTubers are a whole nother animal.
Trust me, big time, man. I like shit. Like every single time, like you see like an after hour show like drop like with the ladies on here, like by the time it hits the YouTube and it's already like premiered, like man, they were here like 3 weeks ago. Like it takes that long. Yeah, it takes that long to get to it and then get everything edited and all chopped up. Yeah, that's the way it works.
Yeah. Do you guys also do the thing where you post on like Spotify and Apple and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Or do you just do YouTube?
Yeah, all of it, man. Like you have to utilize
Oh
all of
yeah,
it. Yeah.
that's a pain in the ass also,
Yep.
you know.
And trust me, it
Yeah,
is. It is. But
yeah,
like the consistency, man, it'll pay off though. So that's why, like, yeah, like set that goal for yourself.
yeah,
Like I said, like keep it realistically. Obviously, we all want to go viral. We all want that meal, but like just stay consistency and like stay true with your content. The people they'll find you, man. They'll relate with you, and they can only find
yeah,
you if you're dropping enough content consistently throughout the week. They'll come across you. They'll find you.
yeah, man.
Yeah. And then lastly, man, you're in front of your 18-year-old self right now. What advice would you give yourself right now? You're in front of your 18-year-old self, like real quick. Like you're gonna talk to yourself, like
Well,
to get that Back to the Future type of deal.
I think
Yeah,
were you breaking up a bit? Or?
yeah, a little bit, but I got you here now. Did I lose you?
Can you hear me?
Kind of messed up real quick. It's the internet connection.
Hey, you good?
Yeah, I can hear you audio, but I don't see the video yet.
Okay, hold on. I think we broke up for a second.
Okay, there you go. Cool.
All right, cool. Yeah, well, my first, like, I think my first piece of advice, man, would be to like get a new fucking outfit. Like, looking at like my 18-year-old self, it was definitely like lots of looks maxing to be done for sure. You know, get a haircut, get some different
Okay.
clothes. But really start hitting the gym, like get a gym membership. You know, I didn't work out at all back then, so start hitting the gym. You know, don't put so much pressure on yourself just because you're getting rejected now. You know, it all gets better. You know, I think because for men, I've always believed that, you know, we reach our primes around like 33, 34, 35, like
Yep.
in our 30s. So no need to just be so stressed. I think that would be the biggest piece of information I'd give like my younger self is, you know, it gets better. You know, like our bodies, like we start to like just, if we put in the work, right? We go to the gym, just put in the work, man, dress better, you know, work on like our money, our career, focus on just leveling up in all those aspects of life. And, you know, the girls, like they'll come, you know, they'll come. Like assuming you put in, you know, not ditch your dating life, but you know, download, you know, go on casual dates like throughout your 20s, learn about like female nature.
Mm.
And when you have your life together or in like your later 20s, early 30s, man, like you're going to be in a really good place, assuming you know, put in all that work.
Mm.
So basically the biggest piece of advice is not to stress so much like in your early, you know, teenage years, because high school's stupid, man, you know,
Yeah.
like none of that shit. And even college too, it's like looking back, it's like, if I wanted to be a content creator earlier, it's like, dude, what was the purpose of that? You know, like
Yeah.
if you want to be like a doctor or like an engineer or a lawyer or a nurse, like it makes sense.
That's funny,
But
man. Those are the same things that I labeled off. I just had to talk to my friend maybe like 2 weeks ago about that. That I was like, if like
yeah,
if those are the trades, then yeah, it makes sense. But if it's like some like one off type of career, it's like, man, like you're losing a lot of time.
yeah. And you know, for me, I've always been like a little bit nerdy. Like I'm like my 9 to 5 is like science engineering like based. So I still would have gone to college,
Mm.
but I think what I should have done is focus on that side hustle at least a couple years earlier, start YouTube a couple years earlier.
Okay.
So have like, you know, get that second income stream like up and running earlier, you know? So,
Okay.
but yeah, man, definitely, you know, put in the work in your 20s. That's probably the biggest piece of advice I'd give to like my 18-year-old self. Don't, you know, take rejection so harshly. Like you're going to get there, you know, you're going
Yeah.
to get there. Just put in the work.
Okay. Well said. And then lastly, man, let my subscribers know where they can find you, man. All platforms, wherever you at, man. Drop it for them. I'm gonna put everything in the subscription at the bottom also, but like let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, man. First off, appreciate you for having me come on, man.
Oh yeah, no, for
I
sure.
like doing like these
Yeah.
podcasts. They're a lot of fun. But yeah, so youtube.com/at Velvet Cakes. So really just VELVETCAKES, youtube.com/at Velvet Cakes. That's my channel. Like you said, you'll have the link in the description, so we're all good.
Yeah, for sure.
You can also follow me on TikTok too. I give a lot of like good, like daily lifestyle, self-improvement tips.
Okay.
That's my username on TikTok is Red Velvet Lifestyle. So RED _ VELVET _ cakes CAKES. So Red Velvet Cakes, TikTok, YouTube, youtube.com/at Velvet Cakes. And if you want, you can follow my Instagram. My Instagram is more so like my personal handle, but
Okay.
slowly incorporating it to like the business stuff too. So my Instagram is just on par with Nayyar. So ONPARNAYYAR. That's my Instagram handle. So you can
Okay.
follow me on all of that. And yeah, man, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. I love your content, you guys, man. Show them in, tap in, show love, hit the like button, subscribe, and trust me, we'll do another follow up, man. I'm gonna give you till, let's say, Halloween, and I'm gonna reach back out to you and stuff, man. We'll do a recap and then we'll run it all back, man. I always love like when I have good guests, man. I always like to have them back, man. We'll show the growth.
Sounds good, man.
Cool, man. All right, man. Keep pushing the word, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for doing the show.
You too, man.
All right.
Peace.